Hi, everyone. Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. It's Wednesday afternoon. Hope everyone is having a nice day. It's Wednesday. That means it's Crime Stoppers Day, and I feel like it's been a minute, but we have LPD's one and only Jared Minary in the studio today. Jared, again, I feel like it's been a minute. How have you been?
I literally was talking to Becky Keller in my office this morning as I was getting ready for this. I'm like, man, it seems like it's been a long time since I've been there. I had to go back and look, and I'm like, when was the last time? And I'm not even sure when last time was. I know it was at least early November.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's definitely before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So
that kind of changed our schedule a little bit.
It did. The holidays always kind of make things a little bit wonky. But thank you again for jumping in and joining us in the studio today. Got a couple of interesting cases that we need some help with.
Yes. Yep. First one we had was back on November 14th. This is about 4:50 in the morning. We had Lincoln Northeast High School reported that they had found what we call like the debris from a Molotov cocktail that was thrown at the building. They had a small fire from that had kind of climbed up the building a little bit, caused a little bit of smoke damage to the brick. Obviously, not major damage with brick. It's something they could clean off, but it's kind of concerning when people are throwing Molotov cocktails no matter what. No great video of where this actually happens, but we did find some video of this car driving around about the same time frame as we believe this Molotov was thrown. So we're obviously looking for any information on this vehicle. Maybe somebody can give us a tip on who owns this, what we think is a Pontiac G6 that was on the property around that time.
Yeah, Molotov cocktails. Bad.
You don't
But when you
hear
throw them
those
at
too
brick,
often.
thankfully,
Yeah.
we're just charring the brick a little bit.
It's a little less flammable than most things, so that's good. But
Yes.
I wouldn't recommend ever taking those and trying it in public.
And
It's definitely a bad thing.
We're discussing. Yes, definitely a bad thing. We were discussing beforehand. You know, it did just to hit the brick, so it didn't do a lot of damage.
Right.
But were they trying to hit something else? How accurate
Yep.
can one be when trying to throw a flaming bottle?
Yeah, like I said before, I'm pretty bad at throwing things into my garbage can. So I mean, maybe they were aiming at something else, like I would when I'm aiming for my garbage can and hit something that they were not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what you would aim at that you're not supposed to when you're throwing a Molotov cocktail. But we would definitely like to catch up with these people and just see what the deal was. Was it something they had a beef with somebody, a beef with the school, or is this just kind of a random act that they were just kind of messing around that night and just thought it'd be kind of fun to do this? And obviously, we want to make sure that they're not doing it again anywhere else as time goes on.
And again, we've been watching the video here. This is the Pontiac, again, G6 that was in the area. Again, the video itself is good, but when we try and sort of isolate, you know, a potential license plate, things get a little bit fuzzy.
Yep.
And so this is an example of what you guys think that vehicle would look like. Again, not necessarily the vehicle, but this is what we think it would look like.
Exactly. So if anything that you know of somebody maybe that goes to that school, maybe you've heard some rumors, if you heard somebody saying they did that one night, it was kind of funny, or you know, whatever it is, maybe somebody at that school happens to drive a car like this that just kind of stands out, or I mean, it just could be anything. It could be just a rumor you've heard, and maybe it would lead us in the right direction.
And so, again, Jared, as always, can you kind of take us through the best way to leave a tip on a case like this?
Well, obviously, with Crime Stoppers, that's the best way if you want to stay anonymous or get a cash reward. And if you don't really care too much, you just want to contact the police department, you can start with that 402-441-6000 number. That's going to go straight to our dispatch, our non-emergency line, and an officer can speak with you there about this case. But if you want to call Crime Stoppers, stay anonymous, get that possible reward, you want to call that phone number of 402-475-3600. You can go on LincolnCrimeStoppers.com to see this case and many others that we're talking about right now. And, of course, if you have the P3 app, you can download that to your phone if you haven't. And using that, the nice thing about that app is that you can actually have a two-way conversation with people on our crime analysis unit. And so if you have some information, we can actually have a nice two-way conversation with you to ask maybe some follow-up questions if that you didn't know that might have been important, and we might have a follow-up to it.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about that P3 app is it does keep you anonymous still, even with that communication. I know some people are like, well, how can you text back and forth? It's all through like an IP blocker. No one on our end would ever see that. So it's completely blocked and erased, and it's never stored.
So you could have been a passenger in that Pontiac G6. If you want to turn your buddy in,
Yep.
you can do it, and your buddy will never find out.
Yep. And we've actually had reports. I'm involved with the Crime Stoppers USA conference and the organization. And I've actually heard people say that they've had people that have called in a Crime Stopper tip and picked up the money with the person they were tipping on in the passenger seat of the car. Not something I would recommend, but the nice thing about Crime Stoppers is they work very hard to make sure that you are kept as anonymous as they could possibly make it.
100%. And you mentioned it, so I'm going to bring it up really quick. But this is the Crime Stoppers website right here. Again, you can scroll through the pictures you see there, or case we're about to talk about next. You see the case that we just talked about, that fire at Lincoln Northeast High School, and then plenty of other things. And you can also, again, some of these just scroll through, and they're pretty incredible sometimes. There was one on here that I saw just a few days ago, Jared, that was the break-in, I think, at the jewelry store.
Yes.
In Gateway Mall.
Yes.
And I was obviously sad it happened, but chuckling to myself at the video because the suspect really had to wail on those jewelry cases to finally get them open.
He did have to work pretty hard, but not as hard as I would like somebody to work for that kind of money. So, yeah, it was good video. I think it's still up there, and we're still looking for him as far as I know. I haven't heard anything about them getting a good tip on that one. So if you're bored and you want to go check that out on the website, that's an interesting video to watch, definitely.
There you go. All right, so case number 2 kind of involves 2 crimes. There was a crime that kind of happened.
Correct.
And then someone decided to use the opportunity of a distraction and commotion to commit another crime.
Yep.
And you guys have some really good video that we'll pull up right here. Oh, well, that's not the right video at all, Jared.
Well, I could say we do see a lot of this happen when you have an event like, say, like a gas station robbery. We've seen people where they're in the gas station that just happen to be in the store, and while the clerk is distracted by being robbed, they may decide this is a great time to take a Reese's peanut butter cups. They may do a shoplift.
Sticky fingers.
Exactly. It's not the first time we've seen a big crime happening and then someone else taking advantage of the chaos to do maybe a smaller crime.
All right, well, that's exactly what we happened here, and here is the video. This is video from it's Main Street Cafe.
Main Street Cafe.
Which is on O Street, and there was a shooting that had happened, and this occurred not too long ago, December 1st.
Yep.
Shooting outside.
Actually, it was on October 20th is when it actually happened, yep.
October 20th.
Yeah, I think it's labeled on there wrong. We'll have to check that out.
Yeah, you're getting me again, Dave.
Yeah, I know. I want to throw you for a loop
First
today.
I show the wrong video, now I get the wrong date. But no, so there was a shooting outside of the business, and one of the ladies here, the lady in the white, red, and black jacket, decided to take some money.
Take advantage of it. So basically, we have her and her 4 friends that you can see here in this video. This is when they first came in the building, and it's obviously the best video we have of them throughout the night. We can track them throughout the event. So basically, as the shooting happens outside the bar, everybody does what you would expect. They kind of run away from those front doors. And there were some people that hopped the bar and got back behind the bar as like their cover. They were kind of hiding back there. Interestingly, though, all of these girls, after the shooting happened, it was a while, and then they started to hop the counter. They were hiding back there. The girl in this red, white, and black jacket didn't even hop the bar and go back there until the girl that you can't see very well right now, she's over on the far left, kind of to the side of the security officer. Basically, she runs over, catches her, and they come back, and they're pointing at where a cash box has been dropped off. Now, the reason the cash box is on the bar is during the shooting, that security officer had their usual cash box for people coming in and paying the cover charge. And when the chaos happens, that gets knocked over. He picks up all the cash and takes it over to the bar so that the staff there can put it back where it should be secure. Unfortunately, in the chaos, that was left out on the bar. And these girls, what we can tell from the video, it looks like they saw that and decided to take advantage of that. They climb over the bar, and they're back behind the bar where they take this cash box off the bar, and then that cash box is never seen again with the cash or the cash money.
So they took the whole box.
Well, we're still trying to figure that out for sure. We don't know where the cash box is, to my knowledge, but we definitely know that all the cash is gone. In the video, when you see them hopping back over the bar, and I didn't include that here because it's just kind of poor video from that angle, and this is really so much better for their faces. But in that video, you can see that when they're leaving, they don't have an obvious big cash box, so maybe they're able to conceal it under a jacket or something like that, or maybe they left the cash box someplace else.
And we can kind of see that cash box, I think, that we're alluding to right here.
That would be the cash box.
In this part of the video. At the very tail end, if I go back to it there.
And really,
pause that video.
We don't know for sure that everybody's involved in this, in the sense that they were all...
It may have been just one of those girls' bad decision, not all of those girls' bad decision.
Exactly. But we're hoping that maybe somebody can identify some of the other girls to help us identify the main ones we're looking for.
And again, that main one who we think we took the box is this lady right here.
Yes.
In that white, red, and black jacket. And again, I'll go through. This is another one of the individuals who I sure had a lot of eyeballs that night. And then another one right here, kind of a silver jacket, black shirt, maybe some blue writing there, or some colored writing, or a colored box on her
Yep,
on
and
the
I
front
believe
of her
she
shirt.
has that one has a tattoo on the side of her neck, and she's potentially involved in this as well, as she seemed to be the one that was kind of grabbing the girl in the black and white and
Okay.
red jacket and leading her back to the bar where that cash money was.
Okay, and then the last individual is this one, kind of a gray tank top,
Yep.
looking shirt there.
And
But
I think
again,
she has a tattoo on one of her, like her forearm there, on the left forearm, if I recall correctly. Kind of hard to see in some of it. And then the girl that we're looking for in that red, white, and black jacket, she has a tattoo on her thigh, on her right leg. It kind of looked like a butterfly, maybe, possibly, but can't say for sure just because of the compression involved in the
Okay.
video.
And so, do we know how much money was in that cash box at all?
It's probably a felony level, so it's probably over a $1,500 loss.
Okay, well that's no good. Okay, and so you just mentioned it, but a felony level theft is what they would be looking at here,
Yep, that's where we're hitting it because
and not
of the cash
necessarily
value.
again, not all 5 girls, but
Right, right. And obviously, we just need to make sure we can track back who took the money and where it ended up, or anything we can do to kind of track that. So, if anybody has any information, maybe they just heard rumors of these girls bragging about how they got some cash that night. There's a good possibility that these girls might be from Omaha because we had a concert in town that night. It was a rap concert at Pinnacle.
okay,
And some of the people that came down from Omaha were hanging out at Main Street Bar. We know that because of the shooting case that we were working and the potential of some of those people in the bar. So it's possible they were actually from Omaha as well. So we don't know if they're necessarily Lincolnites or if they're from Omaha.
okay, all right. And again, just so everyone can see it again, best way to reach out to you guys if someone does have information on this case.
Right. So Crime Stoppers is one of your easiest ways. You can go on there. You can go online at LincolnCrimeStoppers.com. You can call 402-475-3600, or you can go on that P3 app. And, of course, you can always call the Lincoln Police Department at 402-441-6000 to speak with an officer if you would like to chat with them.
All right, and then one last thing, Jared. I know you kind of already mentioned it, but you wanted to talk a little bit about today is that National Crime Stoppers Conference.
Yeah.
Can you kind of tell us what it is?
Sure.
What's going on?
So, like I said earlier, I'm involved in the Crime Stoppers USA program. So I'm actually a regional director for Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, and Iowa. And the nice thing is that with that, I'm able to also communicate with some of the other programs in the area, see how they do things. And then when we go to a Crime Stoppers conference like this, we're actually able to share information with other programs throughout the country. Even some people come all the way from like Guam. We had some from England. There was one from Australia. So it's kind of cool just to see where everybody comes from.
I suppose crime is universal.
It is definitely universal. There's actually a Crime Stoppers international group as well that's been founded that's working with a lot of the other countries around the world to kind of help tie this together. But the nice thing about this is it's just like any conference. You go there, you have classes, and I often say that the classes are usually great and you learn a lot, but the cool thing about it is actually making those contacts after the class is over and really talking about like real world cases where you may actually get to discuss like, hey, I had this weird thing that happened with my program. How did you handle that, or how would you handle that? And what might be just somebody just bringing up a small topic turns into a 3-hour discussion outside of that. I had a couple of those that weekend, but the really cool thing is, like, if you remember, we did Zoo Done It.
Yeah.
We share information about other people's fundraisers, and that's where we got the idea to do something really cool in Lincoln for our program that benefits not only our program but also Lincolnites to do some kind of fun event.
Yeah.
And so that literally came from just us going to this conference, talking to other people, and saying, wow, that sounds like fun. I think, like, if I have to do a fundraiser, that'd be a great idea. Like, that'd be a lot of fun to do. It's just been a really good thing for our program. They do awards for some things. So, we could honestly, I talked to them about what we're doing here on our, I called it a podcast because I'm not really sure what you call it.
Streaming podcast.
Streaming podcast.
Yeah.
And I said that I think it's really cool the way we're able to have a little bit longer form discussion about it. And so I might end up submitting that next year just because I think this is a cool format that I don't know of any other program doing around the country right now. So.
I know I have, we've had other stations reach out in terms of, the streaming and hey, what are we doing? And I always say, hey, reach out to your local law enforcement, some sort of Crime Stoppers. Most stations probably do what we've been doing, and you reach out to the local media, you have segments, but again, on TV, you only have 2 minutes, which is why this is a nice platform where we can go a little bit more in-depth and talk for 10 or 15 minutes.
Absolutely. I think it benefits you, but it definitely benefits us as well because sometimes that 2-minute hit is just a short little snippet, and maybe we actually want to talk about it because it maybe there's just something that if you hit it in 2 minutes, you don't get the detail. But like us being able to talk about this incident at the bar, maybe something, because we went and continued to talk about it, we were talking about their tattoos. Maybe we wouldn't have hit that in 2 minutes. And that might just give somebody just that little bit of information. They're like, oh, you know what? I remember that. Let's talk about that.
Awesome. Well, if you do submit that for words, if you need someone to go with you to the conference as like a chaperone or something, I'm willing to.
This last year was in Denver, so it was cold. And then next year's going to be in Indianapolis. So if you've never seen sunny Indianapolis, there you go.
There we go. Hey, I've never been to the state of Indiana, so I'll do it. I'll do it. Absolutely. Awesome. Jared, well, thank you again so much. Again, good video with the cases today. Again, good stuff to talk about. Anything else before we let everyone go?
No, I think that's all for today.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Again, as always, thanks everyone for tuning in and for watching. And as always, keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online, for all of your latest news, weather, and sports. Until next time, we'll see you later.